Hey, everybody. Pam coming to you live. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit because I've been spending a little more time on my radio show and podcast this week. And one of the things that occurred to me and I talk about there is that everything I'm teaching can sometimes come across as a little bit academic, and maybe it sounds a little bit too much like a textbook or high school. But the thing I really want to get across to you is that this is real stuff, real business stuff that grown-up businesses do that is absolutely accessible and easy for small businesses to do as well. And it occurred to me that an example I could use is my own business because I'm a startup, right? So I'm dealing with the same complexities and issues that every one of us as entrepreneurs are wrestling with right now. Time constraints, unexpected obstacles, demands on resources, money that we didn't expect, too many projects going at once, shiny object syndrome, a little bit of ADD, you name it. We're all wrestling with these same issues. And the thing I want to point out to you is I'm not building an intermediate accounting or a master's degree level accounting model that nobody can use. Yes, I'm using my know-how from years of experience, from lots of years of school, from CPA certification and all of the above. Of course I am. That's my job to do this. But the tool that I'm creating is a tool that I use as an entrepreneur that has nothing to do with my accounting background, right? As an entrepreneur, I need to know some basic things. I need to know, is cash coming in as quickly as it needs to? Is cash going out in a way that I expect it to? And are things happening in the timeline that I've assumed that they're going to happen? And I need all that information because as a business owner, not because I want to have a great accounting model, not because I want to say that my books balance or that I can close my books on the fifth workday or whatever other accountingese type language might be tossed around out there, sometimes by me as well. The reason that's important is because it helps me run my business better. It prevents me from making almost catastrophic, panicked decisions. And it lets me rest well at night knowing that things are going either exactly as I expected them to, or they're really not going as I expected them to, but I know it, I can see it, and I can adjust for it because I've got the tools in place to look for it. And I don't need to be an accountant for that to work for me. I need to be a business owner. And I just got some real clarity around that as I was doing some work on this podcast, because it's really not critical, and I say this a lot, but now I've got a real example. It's not critical that Pam, the business owner, knows and understands all of the detail and philosophy and crap underneath the logic for doing a cash flow forecast. I just need to know what cash is coming in, what cash is going out, and when. And that's all I look at, right? I could make it harder than that. I could make it complicated. I could add extra time to studying this like an accountant. But right now, I'm not an accountant. I'm a business owner. I'm a business owner, and I need to use accounting and finance just like a business owner would. And that's why I can tell you, if you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur, you really can, believe me when I say, finance can be fun, number one, because once you have this stuff in place, and it's not like you're learning Greek, but instead it's, hey, this tells me what I need to know as a business owner about my business. Once you've got that in place, your confidence level can just go through the roof, because things that used to panic you, like, oh my God, my bank account balance is dwindling, or there's a bill I don't know how to pay, or am I ever going to make any money? When's it going to come in the door? All of that stuff that rolls around in the back of your head, just like a big gray fog, and really does weigh on you as you're trying to make decisions and be an entrepreneur who's clear-headed, focused, and taking confident steps. It's holding you back. But if you put the same type of very simple process around this that I've talked about on my podcast, I've talked about on these Facebook Lives, I cover on my website, I'll be covering in my course, I talk about in the book. If you put this basic stuff in place, what it does is take that fog away. And we all know that the stuff that weighs around in our subconscious that keeps us from sleeping or keeps us from making, in my case, it makes me eat more, keeps us from making decisions. Like, it allows us to procrastinate. It gives us permission to procrastinate on things because it's still gray and fuzzy. What I'm providing here in this podcast, what I really want this to be for people, and what I want the book to be, and what I want everything I put out there to be, is plain English tools, tips, tricks, you name it, for us to make this easy and accessible to business owners. Because with this last piece in place, right, with this finance pillar in place, everything's there. This piece that you've avoided or that you've told yourself, I'm no good at numbers, or I'm never going to understand that, or that's just my bookkeeper, or, whatever it is, until you panic and need information. If we can get that one pillar in place and you're not hating it, but instead you're loving it, and I promise we can do that. We can definitely do that. Then everything changes about your business. Everything turns around. Imagine with me, just sit here for a minute and imagine having complete confidence when you walked into a meeting, or when you look at your bank account balance, or when you decide you need a loan, or when you decide to grow your business. Imagine what it would feel like to know with 100% confidence that you've got exactly the right amount of money to do it and at what time you have to spend it. If you had all that information, if you could do that with confidence, if you could say, I know this is exactly what's going to happen with my finances as I move forward on this path, then all of a sudden there's no gray fog hovering around you feeding the doubts. You've got enough doubts to deal with, enough insecurities to deal with. We all do. We all worry about our businesses. We all wait for the other shoe to drop. But if this particular piece of concern, which permeates everything in a business, is all of a sudden lifted off your shoulders and turned into a very clear package that you sit in front of yourself and use now as a tool. You use the numbers instead of the numbers using you. All of a sudden, everything changes. And that's the message I really want to get out. So I just had a real need to get that off my chest today because I've been doing a lot of lives. I'm giving a lot of tips. And I don't want it to be really academic and sound like you're in an accounting course. I want it to be something that really resonates with you as a business owner and convinces you unequivocally that this is a piece you can take command of and have in your business, no matter how catastrophic your financials are now. Whether your receipts are still in a shoebox or whether you've had QuickBooks in place for 10 years and still don't understand what it's telling you. In either situation, it is all fixable, and it's a tool that you're able to turn into something that you can use, that you're not frustrated by, procrastinate about, want to avoid, or just, your head's going to explode every time you hear the words accounting or finance or cash or banking. Let's fix that. Every small business owner deserves to have that peace of mind. It's my mission to get them that peace of mind and have a ton of fun on the way there. So thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. Pop on over to my fan page, which is Pam Pryor on Facebook. Feel free to sign up for the podcast, which is called Cash Flow and will launch on September 12th. PM me. I get you a free copy of this book right now without any opt-in information. I'll just get it to you because I can for a little bit longer until the hard copies come out. And please share this with anybody, any entrepreneurs, any small business owners who you think might get some value out of having some tips and tricks from a Fortune 500 CFO who knows exactly how to take all that information and make it palatable, useful, and fun for small business owners. Take care.